Yeah, Sukant, hi. So thanks
Hello.
for actually joining me. I know you are basically from the legal background. A few words about you, and then we will start with the DPDP.
Yes.
So, what's your experience? Where did you graduate, and what's your experience on the legalities, actually, Sukant?
Sir, I have graduated from the Guru Gobind Singh University, Indraprasth, and I have been practicing in the field of law for past 1 year. I have graduated in the year 2023, and I have practiced since then in the field of law. I was basically practicing under the matrimonial law and property laws and some
Okay,
negotiable instruments.
good. So, you are also a certified data protection officer from Brit Certificates and Assessment. Now, how do
Yes.
you see this, the data protection law? Okay, and the implications to the Indian industry, Sukant. So, do you feel that we are prepared for accepting the law? Do you think the people have the maturity and the knowledge for implementing and following DPDP Act?
Sir, what I think that the DPDP Act is a great, step by the Indian government as it protects the personal data of the individual. Since we are living in the digital age, every app, every browser, every site we are searching or browsing is collecting our data without our permission, or maybe he's asking our permission. We don't know about it. So,
Correct.
DPDP Act defines a solid guideline that if you are not complying with the law, then the penalties can be capped at 250 crores. Uh, they can charge you in the penalty. They can charge you 250 crores in penalties if you are not complying with the law. You are collecting data without the consent of the data principals, and it is data is a very sensitive topic. Data can be misused very easily, especially when it is in the form, especially when it is in digital form. Uh, Back in the day when the data was collected on the pen and paper, it was not possible to misuse it that easily. But now anyone can hack into anybody's account, collect any data he wants. Oh, in fact, mm, you must be aware about the crimes, online scams that are happening recently. uh, they are the product of these only unregulated data transfers and lack of awareness among the individuals.
Correct. Yeah. Now, see, because I still remember in 2014, um, on the Bourbon biscuit wrapper, on the other side of the wrapper, there was a barcode, and they said if you buy this Bourbon biscuit, okay, paying 10 rupees, you get 10 rupees Paytm cashback. Now, okay, Paytm is a reputed company, and they have their own security measures, being a part of BFSI domain. All these things are actually fine. But if same steps are followed by any other organization, let's say you buy a biscuit, okay, somebody gives you a biscuit free of cost, and there's a barcode. They say you go to this particular site and register yourself. See, in India, the common thought is, okay, if you don't lose your money, then you are smart. So for the
Yes.
Paytm, 10 rupees cashback, we paid 10 rupees for the Bourbon biscuit. We got from Paytm, but if you have to register yourself on the Paytm, then you need to give your mobile number, email address, and everything. Okay, so that's the personal data that actually went there. Okay, so Paytm is a very good business. Okay, so reputed one. So we don't think that they're going to misuse it, but the hackers can attack any entity. Now, in this particular scenario, for example, if tomorrow somebody is traveling from, let's say, Delhi NCR to Noida, or let Delhi NCR to Jaipur on a car, and on the, let's say, the toll, okay, somebody gives them a free distribution of biscuits or something. They say you register yourself here. So do you think there's an awareness among the people now, because we had been speaking about the DPDP for the last 1.5 years very heavily, and we are expecting things to happen by this month or next month. Now, being a lawyer, okay, now you move with a lot of people, okay. Do you think the people have that awareness, okay, wherein they can, they know that they should not fall a prey to these type of tactics? Do you feel it is there among the people?
Sir, I don't feel it yet. because in urban areas many people are aware about it, or mostly the people who are indulging in information technology or is using in information technology in his day-to-day business or the job, they might be aware about it. But I don't think everybody is aware about it, because since 2015, when the digital age started in India after Geo, like everybody got a smartphone, everybody is having an internet connection, everybody is using internet, and they are just mindlessly scrolling. But there is no any awareness. I don't think there much needed awareness which people should have about their personal information that is being shared on the internet around many sites. I don't know how many sites are sharing my personal information even. But there is not a sufficient awareness among the people. But yeah, I think when the DPDP Act finally enforces, there will be the Data Protection Board of India will uh, help in creating awareness among the individuals so that they don't share their personal data so openly, and be restrictive about what to share and what to consent even, because many people they don't even read the terms and conditions on any registration form, and they just select accept terms and conditions and share their personal data. They don't even know what their personal data is being used for. So there is much needed awareness creation in India
in
among the
India,
youth
right?
and among the elderly as well.
Okay. Now, from the legal studies perspective, does the colleges, law colleges in India, do they have a special focus on DPDP, or it's something that is an optional? And because there are a lot of streams, right? Civil law, criminal law. Okay. Now, at least the DPDP being an act in India, do you feel that the law colleges in India are taking a sufficient step to equip their students with the knowledge of the DPDP Act, so that they are also like one of the soldier who carry this information to the public. So is this a part of the curriculum in many of the colleges? Maybe you have graduated before the DPDP made its announcement big, or it's going to become big. But going forward, do you know that do you feel that there are steps taken by the law colleges to include this as a part of the curriculum?
Sir, I think there are some colleges which are including this DPDP Act in their curriculum. Like I have seen one video on YouTube of IIT. They are applying it in this their curriculum, but I'm not sure about other colleges. Even in my college, I have not studied about the DPDP Act, but I think it is the need of the hour now. Colleges must aware their students about the DPDP Act, because first of all, it's a whole new field for them to explore and provide their services, and then again for safety purposes.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm saying. When you graduated and you started practicing, the data protection in India did not make its news very big. Okay, the DPDP was not something which what we had been speaking for last 1 year. Okay, it's not something that we were discussing. We were expecting PDPB to hit the India, but it became DPDP. Then we thought last year it's going to hit us, but not last year. At least January, then February, etc. But what I mean to say is, see sorry. So what I mean to say is, at least now everybody started discussing about it. So there should be some initiatives taken by the. See, there are so many law colleges in India. Okay, we don't know who's going to adopt, who's not going to adopt, who'll adopt it. Not going to adopt doesn't look like an option. Maybe they'll adopt it later. But have you come across any news where the law colleges have taken an initiative to implement it in any one or two colleges?
No, sir, I haven't even crossed any news that the law colleges are taking initiative for this DPDP Act. In fact, when I am in the court and I tell my colleagues about this DPDP Act, they don't even know about
Okay. So the awareness is not only for the public but also for
it.
the lawyers. Yeah.
Yeah, for everybody, sir.
No, I understand, but say again, when an organization or an individual is, I mean, he finds his personal data on the internet, okay, he might call 1930, the cybercrime police, and then make a complaint. That is number one. But in case he wants to approach a lawyer, anyway, so you are there for us, and we all can approach you in case of an, the any deviation with respect to the personally identifiable information. But other than that, I'm just trying to see, how the lawyers are equipped with the knowledge to fight against any DPDP violations. So there's a long way to go even for the lawyers, right?
Yes. Sir, actually, the field of law is not like we get teached everything, or we got explained everything in the college as well. In college, they just teach you bare minimum laws so that you can just start your career. But you have to read and read. You have to self study. Without studying anything, you cannot propagate in the field of law. Not every law is taught in the law
No,
college.
no, it is same. See, for example, the guys who are actually doing their engineering as well, right? The
Yes.
colleges cannot teach everything. They need to,
Yes.
it's like the seed that they actually sow. So
Yeah.
they need to pick it up, okay? And then they
Yeah.
need to develop their knowledge and skills in their line of business. For example, I'm an electronics and communication engineer, but I'm actually working on the penetration testing, cybersecurity, forensics, etc.
Yes.
So I picked up on this particular domain. In fact, I'm okay, but in UK, I know a couple of my friends, they have done their engineering and mechanical and electrical, but still they're working on computer science. They're very good in their field of work, okay? So no doubt about it. As you rightly said, the colleges cannot cover everything, okay? But do they also touch upon the cyber law by any chance?
So no. In my college, I haven't came across any subject that teaches about cyber law.
Okay.
Cyber law
I
is
think,
a field that is specifically made for mostly information technology personals. And then again, lawyers can touch into it, but they have to study about it separately. In
okay, I
colleges, it's
understand what I'm saying.
not teaching. It's not taught.
But same thing also with DPDP, right? It's more like an 80 to 85% of computer science and then 15 to 20% of law, is what I
Yeah.
understand, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I think the implementation of DPDP should be an hand in hand with the IT security and the legal department in the organization, correct?
Although I think there are specialization in LLM,
Okay.
not in bachelor's degree, but maybe in master's there can be specializations for these kinds of laws.
Okay. Now, what are the maximum penalty that we can expect? I'll not say maximum. Like even if there is a 20 million euro as a penalty that has been specified by GDPR, we still see 1.2 billion penalties being levied on the organization deviating or violating the law. What is the penalty that they have explicitly specified for DPDP?
So
How
the
many crores of
penalties in
rupees?
the DPDP Act are capped at 250 crore rupees.
Okay, 250 crores, but it's more or less, for example, if the violation is much more impactful, then they may also go beyond 250 is what I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah,
depending upon what is the, yeah.
that is dependent upon the judgment of the tribunal, the board. If the situation is very grave, they might charge more than 250 crore rupees as a penalty.
Okay. But DPDP, the Indian government was actually specifying something called as they were saying Data Protection Board of India is going to get formed. It's not formed yet, right?
It's not founded.
Okay. So the act is also not full-fledged implemented, and Data Protection Board of India is also not formed yet. So we might expect the announcement of formation of the board, and this board is going to be like a supervisory authority for the GDPR in India. And we are expecting some announcement to come. Okay, we are on 6th of February, 18th of February 2025. Okay, there's a guess that there's one a big announcement with respect to DPDP Act in India because a couple of my students are from the Big Four. They were actually letting me know. So let's say on 18th of February, it might because last year they were saying just before the Maharashtra elections, but it didn't
Mhm.
happen that time. So we're expecting it on 18th of Feb. Let's see what it has got to do. I think there'll be more work for you and me going forward with respect to the DPDP implementation.
Yes.
Okay, anything else you want to add, Sukant, to this particular podcast? Any your what do you feel? Something people should actually do when they want to adhere to DPDP complaints in India. How do you think the awareness can be taken throughout the India?
That there should be awareness camps, or maybe like podcasts like these, webinars,
Okay.
or like uh, like if you
I
nowadays
think the
if you are calling
municipal
someone.
corporation offices can have some posters, right? The
Yes.
corporation offices are there all over the country, so they can have the posters. Post offices can have the posters. Railway station can have the
Yep.
posters. Bus stations can have the posters. So this setup is there all over the country, and you can have instead of the advertisement behind the bus, you can have a poster of DPDP because the national service is something that we can use to promote the DPDP, then somebody paying for it and using it for a soap, deodorant, or powder, talcum powder advertisement. This is workable, right? People can actually see the buses travel all through the country, trains
Uh,
travel through the
they
country.
can they
Okay,
can
so where
also
all?
print a
Yeah,
QR
also.
code on the they can also print an QR code on the poster so that people just scan it and they have all the information they need for the DPDP Act.
Yeah, correct. See, in that case, I still have a doubt because a month back there was actually a case in Pune where there were people who were caught from a particular bank because there were accounts that were misused. One of the bank account holder is selling tea, okay, on streets of Pune. Okay, he's an illiterate. Somebody else took his identity card and they opened an account on his name, and that is the account that is used for the fraudulent activities. When they actually found him and then they asked him, why are what purpose you're using the bank account for? He didn't even know that there was an account on his name, and he said there was a guy who came on SUV, black color SUV, gave him 10,000 rupees, and then he left. Okay, so these type of people, okay, who do not use, they use their mobile phone, is not a smart mobile, a normal mobile that can only receive calls and SMS, but their identity is also misused. Okay, so for the benefit of those people who are not 100% literate, okay, because if they are not literate, even if you put the poster, they cannot actually read it. Okay, so they need to be a videos running continuously so that if they are not able to read and write, okay, at least the videos can like watching a movie, go to the theater and there's an advertisement because recently I went to a movie in Chennai. Okay, before the movie was actually screened, there was an actor who came and spoke about the scams that are happening. The parcel package scam. Okay, you receive a call from somebody imposing imposters claiming themselves to be the police commissioner, saying that there's a package on your name. It has contained drugs. Okay, so we request you to not demand you to immediately transfer the funds for verification. We'll transfer you back. Now, in the theater, this was actually screened, and everybody was watching it. So you have the posters, you have the QR code, and the Honorable Prime Minister is taking over the Man Ki Baat. Okay, or in the radio, you can actually mention that. Nowadays, when you call somebody, there is a few seconds of awareness messages that is actually happening. So these are the various way you can take this awareness to the rural area as well, right?
Yes.
I think that's what is actually happening in the country, Sukant, correct? When you call
Yes.
somebody nowadays, there is an awareness message that you listen to.
Because there are so many scams that are online scams that are happening nowadays. People are losing their money from their accounts. They're not even just clicking any links. They are even if you have heard, maybe there is scam through WhatsApp calling. They have found a glitch in the WhatsApp system, and the payload that was used in calling, they was using to extract data from the user's device. So the awareness is very important among the people about these kind of scams.
Correct. See, in the other way, getting the personal details and using it for opening the bank account is also something which is a big scam that is happening. So the people are aware that they are not supposed to share their personal details with anybody, okay, without any legitimate reason. So if there's a lawfulness as the basis of data protection, I think we can still secure ourselves to some extent. Okay, I will not say 100% we can secure ourselves, but again, a good step towards security is what I would say is the DPDP. And fortunately, in the GDPR, UK and EU, the paper-based personal details are also involved. But in digital data protection, okay, so we don't have the paper-based information. Once you
Yeah,
digitize it, then it
yeah.
becomes, a digital data
That
protection.
then it comes under the applicability of the DPDP Act only when it is digitalized, or maybe digitalized after the collection.
Okay.
Either the data is collected in the digital form only, or either it is collected on pen and paper and then digitalized subsequently. Then it comes into the scope of the DPDP Act. If the data is of an Indian citizen, Indian resident.
Okay, I got it. So anything else from you, Sukant, to add on to DPDP? Anything specific that you want to tell everyone?
The
We are waiting
DPDP,
to hear from a lawyer.
yeah, there are several terminologies under the DPDP Act. Everyone should be aware about it. First of all is the data principle. What is a data principle? Data principle are persons like me and you whose data is being processed by the data fiduciaries who are registering for any services, and they're providing their data for the processing. Like if I'm ordering something from Amazon, I have to provide bare minimum data like my name, my email address, my shipping address. At least this much information I should have to provide in uh, so that the Amazon could deliver my package to my home. But yet people should remember that they should only provide minimum data required. And even the data fiduciaries are obliged to collect as minimum data as required. Not like if Amazon is collecting my browsing history for marketing purposes or marketing research, that is not data minimization. They are just exploiting uh, the user's browsing history, and
Hmm.
browsing history may contain very sensitive personal data.
It
Even
does, yes.
I should tell you about some more terminologies like data fiduciary. I was just talking about it, but what is data fiduciary? Data fiduciary are the entities who who decides what will happen with the data, how the data is being collected, for what purpose is data being collected, and how it will be processed. Either it will be processed by the data fiduciary itself, or the data fiduciary must transfer it to a data processor for further processing. Then what is data processor? Data processor is the entity which will process the data on behalf of data fiduciary. uh, he does not decide what will happen with the data and why it is being collected. He's not concerned about that. He just process it on behalf of the data fiduciary. There are some
So
other
basically,
terms like
like
content manager.
the controller in GDPR, right? The controller
Yes, yes,
receives the data, he controls what he does.
yes.
Okay.
uh, some other terminologies must people must be aware about, like personal data. What is personal data? People don't even know what is personal data. They might consider every data as personal data they have in their device, but the personal data is their personal data is the information that can uniquely identify me, like my email. My name cannot be personal data because there can be many Sukanjan among
Hmm.
the globe. But yeah, my email can uniquely identify me. My phone number can uniquely identify me. My Aadhaar number can uniquely identify me. That is all the personal data. The any data, any information which can uniquely identify me. Personally identifiable data, which is stated in GDPR. The same is
Correct.
personal data in DPDPA.
See, but the
And yeah,
problem is when we ask for it, then they think about all the laws. But when they give it voluntarily, when they want to register on a website or application, they're not bothered about giving their personal details.
because at that time they are worried about enjoying the services more than how their data is being collected and used.
Right? It's a voluntary disclosure. That is okay. But when you ask, can I have your mobile number? But why? They ask, okay. But when I give them an app to register, they don't ask this question. When I say you register yourself and first two deliveries are free, at least to get that first two deliveries free, they give their name, mobile number, and the email.
They give
You
everything for the first deliveries.
know? Anything else from you, Sukant? Are you okay?
Mm, sir, there's one more thing that people should be aware of, like what is sensitive personal data?
Hmm.
Because personal data I have explained, but what is sensitive personal data? Sensitive personal data is personal data only, but which is more sensitive, like
Marital status. Hmm.
yeah, like bank account information, my biometric information. Which, we have like fingerprint sensors in phone these days. How is that information being collected? Maybe someone accessed that biometric information, use it for some fraudulent activity, and I'm the culprit then.
Correct. Again, no, the biometrics, okay, had been a privilege to use. But before COVID, nobody was bothered about the biometrics. But during the COVID, they were very cautious for the health and hygiene. Okay,
Yes.
now let me tell you something. Biometric people are not even, as you rightly said, they don't know what their sensitive personal data is. When you ask for mobile phone number and then email number and name and Aadhaar card number, passport number, they become cautious. But when they have to put their finger, okay, they don't think that that is also their personal detail. Okay. Maybe that awareness is something that we need to cultivate. But again,
Sir,
with the
what I think,
biometrics, yeah, Sukant.
what I think that people lack the awareness that what is the personal data they are providing. Because there
Hmm.
is so much data in the devices we are using nowadays, and the software is seemingly easy. Like it's not like 2000s when using a computer was hectic. Nowadays it is so easy to use any information technology that people don't even know what kind of data they are sharing, what is their personal data, and how can it be misused. So there needs to be an awareness creation among the people about what are these things, so that they will think like twice about sharing any kind of information, even on social media. The social media is the biggest culprit here.
Correct. But you cannot come out of it, right? Your friends are there, okay, and you want to
You are in
communicate
this.
with everybody,
You are
chat
in
and
this.
share your memories, okay? Ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex,
Yeah.
ex, ex. Okay, so people are not able to come out of it. But again, we need to be cautious in sharing the details. In fact, 2 days back, I found one of the contact numbers of one of the contacts in a temple on the Facebook. So I'm a genuine user. I got the number. I called him and I asked him the genuine details, and it's fine. But it doesn't mean that everybody who calls him are genuine, right? They
Yes.
purposefully send him an SMS with a link, okay, like a smishing attack. He clicks on it and it takes him to a different website. He'll register. Okay, there might be an opportunity for the hackers to make use of this number to make a steal as well. So never disclose your personal email on the social media, mobile number on the social media, house address on the social media, your number, okay, the number or contact details of your kith and kin. Nothing. Okay, let's see how the people can get to know about the personal information, start reacting to it. Okay, so DPDP is not an initiative only from the government. It should be initiative from both sides. Government says people should also follow that.
Yes.
Okay, when people don't follow it and they give the data everywhere. Okay, the government cannot take the responsibility. I always tell people, because there are hospitals, it doesn't mean that you can go and fall in front of a truck, right? No, we are trying to keep ourselves safe
No,
because
prevention is
there
better
are
than
police.
cure.
Sorry,
Prevention is better than cure.
absolutely. Right? Because there are police, that doesn't mean that you will keep your house open, right? You are still locking it. That means because there is cyber police, okay, doesn't mean that you can install any application
Yes.
and give your data and the police will go behind them and catch it. Because from what I know, there are 500 cyber crime cases registered in Chennai, the commissioner's office, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi NCR. Okay, Mumbai, Pune, all this area. 500 cases per day means 15,000 cases per month. Okay, and now the police are not just doing this activity to solve all the cases, and you just don't have control. You install whatever you want, and you give your details everywhere, and they'll go behind and catch all the thieves. No,
The police
it
is also overburdened.
come from the citizen, correct, Sukant? Every individual should control themselves. Then, if you
Yeah.
lose something, police will take care of it. Okay. Anything else from you, Sukant? Thanks for being with us with ISSS and spending your
There is
valuable time on.
one more thing I think I should share with the people. There are some principles of the DPDP Act. So
Correct.
if the people are aware about those principles, they must think that if I'm providing my information, are they according to that principle? Even though the data fiduciaries are obliged to follow those principles, but people should also be aware about it.
100%.
That's why. So first principle is data limitation. Oh, sorry, purpose limitation. The data that is being collected from the individual, its purpose should be limited, specified, explicit, legitimate. No, nobody can just walk towards me and ask me any kind of information and I'll give it to it. No, there should be a legitimate purpose, some specific purpose, or I may have to enjoy some services. That's why I'm providing the information. No, the purpose limitation is very important. If you are providing any information about yourself, you should first acknowledge that the benefit I am getting from that is higher than the risk I'm putting my information under it.
You are.
Second is data
Yeah.
minimization. Data minimization, the organizations are obliged to collect the bare minimum data. Like I have stated an example of the Amazon. So, like my name, my phone number, maybe email if required, and shipping address are the least kind of information that is necessary for the purpose of shipping the package to my home. But if the Amazon wants to collect my browsing data, he needs my explicit and unambiguous consent before collecting that information. Then there is accuracy. The organization should keep the record of data accurate. Uh,
Correct.
there should not be any discrepancies among the individuals' data. Like if hospitals are having my data, my reports, and if they are having discrepancies in it, it might pose me great danger if I'm getting there for treatment. And yeah, storage limitation is one of the organization should not hold the an individual's data for indefinite purpose. Indefinite.
Correct.
There should be some time limit specified, or if the purpose is fulfilled, they are obliged to erase the data. And security, yes, obviously, the organization should implement security measures so that anyone not can breach into their system and steal the information he wants about the individuals. There should be specific security measures like encryption, anonymization, or pseudonymization. And yeah, its sixth principle is accountability. The organization must be accountable and must comply with the DPDP Act that is being enforced possibly after 18th of February. That's it.
Good. I think from the OECD days to the GDPR to all that, okay, we have been inheriting this data protection principle, and hopefully people are aware of the principles, and the data fiduciary is also aware of the principle, and people are staying vigilant against the fraudulent activities. Let's see how we are going to take it forward. Okay. Thank you very much, Sukant. Thanks for joining us for
Thank you.
today.
Thank
Okay,
you,
have
sir.
one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers and bye bye.
Thank you.